pass. Donahue gets it to go, and the Huskies' drought is over.
Hey Huskies fans, welcome back into another edition of the Men's Hockey Weekend Preview presented by Edina Realty. I'm Sam Getzinger here with you, and for the first time in a long time, we get to talk about a St. Cloud State sweep that they picked up last weekend. Colorado College came to town with crucial NCHC points on the line, and St. Cloud State did not disappoint the home crowd over the last weekend. The Cardinal Black started the game off hot with 2 goals in the first period. Captain Spencer Meyer striking first, and then Easton Brodzinski picking up his first goal in the last 10 games. The power play was strong in the second frame, in large part to the Olympian Sam Henches, netting 2 on the man advantage. Huskies would walk away from Game 1 with a 4-1 win over the Tigers. In Game 2, it was another offensive explosion with the Huskies running away with a 4-goal lead through the first 2 periods. Kevin Fitzgerald picked up the game's second goal, and that would also be his 100th point in a St. Cloud uniform. CC did come back in the third with 2 goals in less than a minute, but the door was slammed before it could even be open, with the Huskies notching 2 goals by Henches and Nolan Walker late in the final frame to seal a 6-2 win and a series sweep against Colorado College. The last power play goal on Saturday gave Sam Henches a ridiculous 5 points on the weekend with 3 goals and 2 assists. Those numbers helped him obtain NCHC Forward of the Week. This is Sam's first time receiving the honor in his career and first conference nod since 2018 when he was named NCHC Rookie of the Week. Now with the 2 wins on the weekend, the Huskies still sit in the 5th spot of the NCHC standings with 32 points, which is only 2 points behind Minnesota-Duluth and home ice advantage in that 4th spot. So, if the season were to end today, we would see Miami in North Dakota, Colorado College in Denver, Omaha in Western Michigan, and our Huskies in Duluth for the opening round of the NCHC playoffs. But again, it is really important to note that this series coming up against Duluth will essentially decide whether or not St. Cloud will be the 4 or 5 seed, and if hockey will come back to the Brooks Center. As for the grand scheme of things, both teams should have a spot sealed in the NCAA tournament, but honestly at this point you never know. So that makes the pairwise standings so important. SCSU is currently sitting in 9th with 50 pairwise points, which is 2 spots ahead of Duluth, who are currently in 11th. Denver holds the highest spot for an NCHC team at 3rd. Minnesota State is currently in 1st with 58 points. That's a team that St. Cloud has beat once this season. We touched on how important this upcoming series is for St. Cloud, but let's look at the tail of the tape. The Huskies hold the all-time record with a head-to-head record of 43-30-6. The Huskies have played Duluth twice this season, with both games heading into overtime and resulting in a shootout win for both teams. 3 out of the last 4 games against these teams have ended in overtime as well. Now joining us on the Men's Hockey Weekend Preview, it's Mick Hatton from therinklive.com. Mick, thanks so much for joining us. Let's talk about last weekend, St. Cloud State taking on Colorado College. First time in a while they picked up a sweep. What were some things you liked and some of the takeaways you gathered from last weekend?
I just sort of overall, if you look at both games on the whole, there weren't a whole lot of big gaps, I guess, for St. Cloud State. The power play, I think that was a big takeaway from it. They kind of got the power play back going, and this is a huge weekend for St. Cloud State with UMD because it's going to be for playoff positioning. They want to try and hold off Nebraska, Omaha. They want to try and catch UMD at the same time. It's going to be a tall task up there.
Well, you touched on it a little bit, and we'll go a little bit deeper on this weekend against Minnesota-Duluth. Well, what does Duluth bring to the table this weekend?
This is going to be the 19th time these teams have faced each other since Brett Larson took over. It's always a close game when these two teams play one another. UMD's got a ton on the line this weekend. They're coming off a really tough 4-0 loss at Miami. They're going to be ticked off, and they're going to be playing for a lot. I'm expecting a heck of a game on Friday.
Mick, let's turn back the clock back to CC this series. Rink Live Skater of the Week. Who are you picking for this week?
A guy that has just grown and grown and grown on me all season long has been Josh Litke. He had a goal in that game against Colorado College. I like the way he plays. He plays at a high tempo always, and it seems like he makes a lot of smart plays. So I'll go with Litke.
Josh Litke, the native out of Minnetonka in his freshman year, very solid choice. That's Mick Hatton from therinklive.com. All right, a big series between St. Cloud State and Minnesota-Duluth. Game 1 on Friday, set for a 7:30 puck drop. You can watch that on the CBS Sports Network. Game 2, set for 7 o'clock. You can find that on nchc.tv. I'm Sam Getzinger. This has been the Men's Hockey Weekend Preview presented by Edina Realty. We'll see you next week.